What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MissFlips. In today's video, we are making over this little barrister cabinet right there for you guys. I'm gonna try doing something to this baby that I have never done before to any piece. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm honestly kind of a little nervous, but you know, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. So this is gonna be interesting. Anyways, let's get flippin'. Alright, gang, so here is this little barrister cabinet that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I got it in a set of two barrister cabinets. One was, this one, obviously, and then the other one was a particle board and just really cheap barrister cabinet. This one at least has some real wood on it. The other one is just literally just fake wood all around. But yeah, it's in really great shape, honestly. The only thing is that it is particle board in some areas and then solid wood in others. But yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is repair the bottom parts of the particle board that is coming apart. It's kind of, just roughed up on the edges and stuff. So I went in with some wood filler and just kind of, did my thing and fixed her up. I unfortunately didn't film this process because, I forgot to press record. So the paint that we are using is the Basilisk Black. Try saying that 10 times fast. Oh my god. Basilisk Black from Melange Paint. And I got this one for this piece here originally, and I really liked the way that it looked on this piece, but I honestly kind of just in general didn't really like the color all that much. I don't really like blues. If I'm gonna be working with a blue, it better be, kind of green in some way. I'm just not a fan of blue furniture. I don't know why. It's just not my thing. And for this piece, I just wanted to use paint that I already had, and this paint, I thought I would go a little bit out of my comfort zone and try to use it, try to see what I could do with it, even though I didn't like it all that much. So I went on with the first coat, and then I think I ended up doing 3 coats on it total before I started doing the design. So we're just going in and letting each coat of paint dry before I go in with the next one. And since this is an all-in-one paint, I luckily didn't have to go in with any primer first. However, I do recommend scuff sanding before you put on any paint. And I forgot to, unfortunately. I was just in such a rush to get this done that I ended up completely forgetting to scuff sand anything. But the reason why we scuff sand is because we want to give the paint something to grip onto. So the paint in this corner here is going to be gripping on like nobody's business. It's going to be the most flawless paint job you've ever seen. But yeah, so you want to give the paint something to grip onto. That's why you go over with either a sandpaper or a sanding block like I just did. And make sure to rough up any smooth edges that are on the wood. Luckily, this wood was pretty rough already. Not rough, but just like had, prominent wood grain. So that gave some, like a little bit of something for the paint to, stick onto. For taping the trim, I honestly wasn't too worried about it. I didn't find the need to do it specifically because with glass, paint is really easy to get off with a razor blade, so all you got to do is just scrape it off with a flat edge of a razor, and that way you don't have to waste any tape, you don't have to throw away anything at the end of the day, you just scrape it off and you're good to go. So for the first design that I had tried doing something that I had kind of thought would be cool hypothetically in my head. which was trying to paint the wood grain in gold. So I tried doing like wood knots in gold and then, did the little wood grain type of stuff around them, and I just was not vibing with it. It was not at all how I wanted it to look, and I was very unhappy with it. So once the gold paint dried, I just went ahead and painted over the entire thing again with the basilisk black. And then the next thing I tried was putting gold paint into some water and just spraying it on the side. And this looked kind of cool. I can see how, like, once it smears down and runs down, I can see how that would be like some sort of cool aesthetic for a certain piece, but this just wasn't the piece for that. So I ended up just painting over that again, and while that dried, just scraping my windows clean. But I don't know, man. I just have a really hard time figuring out what to put on like really narrow sides like that. Even on pieces that are a little larger, I have a really hard time coming up with designs in narrow spaces. I'm much better with like squares or larger rectangles than I am with like really narrow spaces like this. But I ended up settling on a kind of boho inspired design. I did a similar design with this piece here, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to see how that would look. So I started off with this light blue, also from Melange. I'll make sure to include the link to all of the colors below in the description for you guys in case you guys like any of the colors that you see here. But yeah, I ended up just painting, a little bit of this blue kind of, abstract shapes everywhere. And don't worry, it'll look like a cow for like a good couple minutes here, but it won't look like a cow forever, I promise. During this process, I just want to share that it was a really frustrating time for me. I sent this piece to, so many people for their advice, and I went to my furniture flipping community here on YouTube and asked for their advice, and it took me hours to come up with this design. But just be patient with yourself, love your process. It all takes time. Once all my cow spots were done and dry, I decided to go over them with, this Jacob's Well, my new favorite color, and just do some little leafy boys across here to kind of overlap the shapes and not make it look so, cow-esque. And I actually kind of liked the lighter green over the light blue. Like I liked the translucence of it. However, I didn't have the brush to actually get it really nice and smooth and make it so there's no brush strokes in it. The brush just wasn't able to do that. It was a little too small, I think. But so I ended up just, painting everything solid green so that it wouldn't be as translucent. And then once everything dried, I went in for a little gold detail in there. So with the gold, I don't know, this gold leaf is interesting to work with. It dries really, really quickly, and it kind of is hard to work with at times. I really love the look of it, and I genuinely sometimes like how fast it dries. But I just, yeah, if anyone has any recommendations with like either a gold pen or a gold marker that they like using, that I could get really nice details with, please let me know in the comments, or gold paint that you really like using. I'm kind of thinking that I might be in the market to start using a different gold. But for the gold detailing, I ended up liking the splotchiness that this liquid gold gave it. I liked kind of the unfinished look of it, I guess, versus like the look that I would get with solid gold lines. I liked how some of it was kind of splotchy in some places, and how, the brush kind of ran out of paint. I just like that look, but some projects don't call for that, and it's really tricky to get a solid gold line with this paint and a brush. So, yeah, your recommendations would be highly appreciated. To add a little bit more detail and intrigue, I ended up putting these little tiny dots everywhere in the corners as I saw fit, just to add a little bit more to it. Unfortunately, the paint didn't dry in time for this video for me to do a top coat, but I did add a top coat protective layer afterwards, even though it is an all-in-one paint, just to give it that little extra bit of protection. But anyways, before I show you guys the finished product, I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you so much for watching this, and I hope that you guys learned to give yourself some love and patience when you aren't in that usual creative flow. I was so hard on myself when doing this piece, but you know, I eventually found something and I actually really enjoyed what I came up with, and I had to go through all of that in order to come up with this. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and do all those things so that we can stay a happy flippin' family, and in the meantime, stay flippin', guys.